Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Positively Spiritual. Wow. Hello, everyone. Hi. It's good to see you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oops. Daisy. Okay. How did that happen? Okay. Hang on a sec. Wow. Okay. That just did not work. Okay, where's my clip? All right. Hang on. No, I'm not gonna restart this video. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it then. How's that? All right, I lost my clip. All right. Hi, everyone. How you doing? It's nice to see you. Welcome to Positively Spiritual. We're flying by the seat of our pants today as I lost my clip. I don't know where it went, and so it's okay. It's somewhere in this room, it's somewhere here, but the way I had my phone set up, it didn't work. So rather than try to set it up again, we're just gonna go this way. So today's video comes, I believe somebody needs to hear this. Whether that's you or not, you can let that remain anonymous, but I'm not speaking to anybody that I particularly know. Like, I'm not singling anybody out. I just feel like this is a message that somebody needs to hear. Because the secret alcoholic narcissist, this is the bridge that leads to hell on earth. Have you ever dealt with a narcissist who is an alcoholic? Have you ever dealt with an alcoholic before? Maybe you yourself have been struggling with alcoholism. Maybe you've been struggling with addiction. So there is a hidden struggle that many never see, a battle waged behind closed doors, masked by charm, success, and illusion of control. Today we're pulling back the curtain of the secret alcoholic narcissist. I've known a few. Those are those functioning alcoholics where they can drink and they seem sober, but they need their alcohol. Like they can't live without it. And the secret alcoholic narcissist, this is the person who hides behind their dependency under a carefully crafted image, using manipulation, deceit, and addiction to maintain a fragile sense of superiority. Beneath the surface, their empire is crumbling. It's gone. The weight of their own deception, coupled with the numbing grip of alcohol, drives them forward to an inevitable collapse. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. The alcoholic narcissist that leads, and what this has to do, how the narcissistic collapse looks like. What do I want to say? Okay, you're not dealing with just a regular person here, okay? Yes, the camera is shaking. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I can do it this way. Will that work? Well, no, that's too high. That's too high. All right, hang on a sec. Sorry, guys. I know I did have this all situated, but there we go. Is that better? That's good enough, eh? That's good enough. Maybe. I'd like it like that. Okay. So there we go. Hi, Andrea. It's nice to see you. Welcome. Okay, so this video is going to be a little bit shaky because I'm holding it, okay? But I'm doing my best. Now, when we think of narcissism, we're thinking of a person, just the blanket behavioral disorder, what psychologists label, what psychologists name, the grandiose self, the sense of superiority, the attention, all of the lack of empathy, everything that follows suit with narcissism, we think that that's what we're just dealing with. But we're dealing with, sorry, I got something in my eye. Ugh. We're dealing with a comorbidity. Somebody who is diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder often, sorry, I'm blinking a lot. My goodness, like just, I didn't pray before I did this video. So, Lord, rebuke the enemy. Lord, please help. I've got like feels like a grain of sand in my eye. So, let this video reach people who need to hear this, Lord. Please bless your name and bless the people who watch this video. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. All right. Better. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Okay, so as I was saying, when you look at, or when we look at narcissistic personality disorder, we're just looking at it as the diagnostic terms. We don't give much thought to the comorbidity, the underlying other mental and behavioral disorders that are underneath the mask of narcissism. That could be clinical depression, could be high anxiety, could be psychopathy, could be sociopath, could be antisocial personality disorder, it could be bipolar disorder, it could be Munchausen, it could be a lot of things. And so we talk a lot on this channel about just dealing with narcissism, just that blanket term. But underneath the blanket term are other disorders, other mental, I'll say infarctions, that's not the true word, but mental diseases, mental complications. And then there's addiction to sex, addiction to drugs, and addiction to alcohol. Oh, you cried all day off and on? Oh, girl, hugs. Hugs, Cynthia. It's nice to see you. Welcome. Come on in. So that's what I want to talk about tonight, and this may trigger you. Just know that I feel led to share this. This is not to anybody specific. This goes out to somebody who needs to hear it, as I feel that this is important. This I wrote this afternoon, and I feel God wants this talked about because, I mean, alcoholism has been in my family. My mother has been an alcoholic, and that caused lots of trauma for me as a kid. So whether you're dealing with a narcissist who is an alcoholic and maybe you don't know, that's what we want to talk about tonight. The secrets that the narcissists keep. We're following what we talked about this afternoon. And this one secret that the narcissist has is that they might be a secret alcoholic. And alcoholism and narcissism is a very dangerous combination. Alcohol becomes the enabler, the silent partner in the grandiose self-destruction. It fuels their delusions, emboldens their cruelty, and in the end contributes to their fall. And it can contribute to your downfall too if you're not careful, because many times we enable the drunk. So today we're going to expose the secret world of the alcoholic narcissist. We're going to dissect the impending collapse and reveal how alcoholism accelerates their downfall. This would be where we cue the intro, you know. Okay, that didn't work today. I'm just not feeling it. Sorry, guys. Not feeling it. It's the final countdown. You know that song? Yeah. Well, This is leading alcoholism, addiction, whatever it may be, whatever the narcissist does, it leads to their final countdown. See, a narcissist thrives on control. They need to be admired. They need to be respected. And most of all, they need to be obeyed. But what happens when the mask starts to slip? When the adoration isn't enough? When their internal emptiness starts gnawing at the edges of their carefully crafted, curated reality? That's when the bottle calls. Yeah. Narcissists are booze hounds. I'm just going to say it. They're booze hounds. And when a narcissist is drinking, you definitely don't want to turn your back on them. You definitely don't want to trust them. But it's hard because narcissists can be functioning alcoholics, so it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell when they're inebriated or stoned. It's, So unlike the stereotypical alcoholic whose decline is obvious, I mean, my mother, she used to get so drunk that she would fall down and bump into walls. Like she had no balance. But the narcissist, the secret alcoholic narcissist, they hide in plain sight. Hi, Joe, how you doing? They maintain their job, their relationships, at least superficially, and their public persona, well, that seems to be impeccable. But behind closed doors, they drink in secret, using alcohol as an escape of the truth because they don't want to face the truth. They drink to silence the whispers of their self-doubt and dull the pain of their own inadequacy and reinforce the illusion that they are in control. And maybe they often drink to mask the pain that they are feeling from childhood. They live in denial, so maybe the alcohol helps them to, just numb it out, numb the pain out. And yeah, alcohol does give the narcissist a sense of control. Like trying to tell a narcissist that they're an alcoholic, watch out. They think they're in control of their drinking, but really it's the booze is in control of them. Hey, Maria, nice to see you. How are you doing? Cynthia, okay. We're going to stop this here and just help Cynthia for a minute here. Cynthia, girl, it's only been 2 months. That's not been a long time. You're going through perhaps, and I can't tell you what you're going through, but maybe this will resonate. Understand that you're dealing with not a normal breakup. You're not dealing with a normal relationship. Okay? You were in love with somebody who didn't play for keeps. They weren't in it for the long game. And you have to mourn the loss. It's like grieving the loss of a loved one who has passed on to the other side and you're never going to see them again. You're mourning a marriage that you thought you had. You were led to believe that you were in love with somebody who was, holding to their part of the bargain in this relationship. You thought they were on the up and up. So you're mourning the loss of a relationship that you never had, but you thought you had. You were duped into believing you had. So there's a lot of things going on just with that right there. This is not a normal breakup. It's not a normal relationship. And the only way that you know how to go through this is to mourn this as if it was a normal relationship. But the fact is, you're mourning the loss of somebody that you thought you knew that never was. So just be easy on yourself, and you're going to go through the 5 stages of grief. That's mourning, that's, bargaining, that's acceptance, You may feel angry. You know, you're going to feel all these stages, not in order. Sometimes you're going to go through all of them in one day, maybe in 1 hour. So this is where it's important for you to allow yourself to cry, but not more than you need to. During this mourning process, the times when you're feeling, sad, well, this is a perfect time to write yourself a letter. Write yourself a love letter. Write yourself a letter from the perspective of who you loved and how the narcissist reflected you back to you, and you fell in love with yourself. And you can write a love letter to yourself from the perspective of a best friend looking in on their friend, seeing how hurt they are and saying all the wonderful things to yourself that you never had a chance to hear. Because you are your own best friend. You really are. So just go easy. Take the time you need to nurture yourself. Put your blanket in the dryer, take it out, wrap yourself around in it, get on a comfy couch or a comfy chair with a nice cup of tea, cocoa, coffee, with a little notepad, and just doodle or write down whatever comes to your mind, and just sit there and just nurture yourself and just breathe. Yeah, that would be great, Cynthia. That would be great. I'm here for you. So, what about a weed addict? High 24/7? Yeah, this is the same thing as alcohol. I've gone through that too. And my goodness, the narcissist will defend their weed use. And it's like chain smoking the weed. It's bad. It's really bad. So here are the signs of a secret alcoholic narcissist. They're highly functional, yet secretly dependent. They drink in private, but appear sober in public. And you may be able to smell it on their breath or on their clothing, stale booze. Ugh. Look for the bloodshot eyes. They justify their drinking as a reward, saying, I work hard, I deserve this. You'll hear this when the narcissist comes home with a 6-pack and opens up a can of beer and drinks alone in front of the TV, and says, I deserve this. I had a hard week, or I had a hard day. And their mood shifts drastically when alcohol isn't available. They get edgy. Oh yeah, and they'll take it out on you. They'll make you seem like you're the problem. They have the grandiosity within hidden self-loathing. They brag about their success while hiding their reliance on alcohol. They act superior to others, just like any other narcissist, because we're still dealing with narcissism here. But, they're not going to, you may secretly know, okay, this person drinks a lot. This person can't go a night without having 1 or 2 beers. But yet they brag to other people that they're on the up and up, like they just don't have a problem. And, it's, they have this, they don't want to let anybody know that they're dependent on alcohol, because that's going to make them seem weak. So deep down they feel worthless and empty, and alcohol allows them to ignore that reality. But in actual fact, the alcohol is actually enhancing their feelings of depression and worthlessness. So a secret alcoholic will often deny drinking even when they're confronted with the evidence. I only drink a little bit. I've only had a few. Well, let's define a few. 1 or 2 or 5. The alcohol narcissists that I knew, they would say, well, I haven't had a drink in a while. And I'd have to be like, okay, what's a while? Define a while. A few days? or 2 weeks. Like it's only been a few days since you've been at the bar, so I haven't had a drink in a while. What does your while mean? Like, are you talking about a month? Are you talking about, oh, it's been years? Like, what's your definition of time when you say a while? Because guaranteed your definition of, oh, I only had a few, or it's been a while, it's been a few months. Your definition of time and theirs is totally different. Totally different. So, so they deny drinking even when confronted. They blame shift, obviously. But with the alcohol, they'll say, well, I was only drinking because of stress, and you're the problem. You know, you stress me out, so I need to drink. You drive me to drink. Ugh, don't allow that. Like when they start talking like that, you know you've got a problem and you don't need to take on that problem. You're not here to rescue them. They hide alcohol in places no one would look. The car, the office, the bathroom, and they pretend to drink less than what they actually do. And narcissists will rage when exposed. Maria says, narc like to speak fuzzy. Yeah, absolutely. You can tell when somebody's been drinking. And, you know, if caught, they lash out and they say, you're paranoid, stop trying to control me. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what it's like. Don't tell me I have a problem because you don't know me. So, you know, you don't judge me. They turn cold and dismissive if you question their drinking habits. And if they feel exposed, they may flip the script and accuse you of being unstable. So, you know, it's never a good idea to confront a narcissist when they've been drinking. Just, you know, that's the number one rule. Do not confront a narcissist when they've been drinking, and do not have the religious or spiritual conversations with the narcissist when they've been drinking. No. So they'll use alcohol as a tool for control. They'll get others drunk to manipulate them. Oh, come on, don't be a stick in the mud. Let's just have one more for the road. They use alcohol to test boundaries, pushing you into bad decisions. Oh, come on, it's only one. What's one gonna hurt? Come on. And they always play the poor me victim card when drunk to gain sympathy. There's this Jekyll and Hyde personality that comes out when they've been drinking. I mean, they still have the Jekyll and Hyde demeanor when they haven't been drinking, but it's not so obvious. I mean, when they're sober, they're charming, they're calculated, they're in control, but when they're drunk, they're arrogant, they're reckless, they're cruel, they're emotionally unstable. And then the next day, they deny or dismiss their behavior. And this alcoholism leads them into a slow decline into self-destruction. Increased secrecy happens when addiction worsens. So you'll have missed obligations, memory lapses, reckless behavior. They blame others for the decline instead of taking responsibility. And this is just a dangerous cycle that is rinse and repeat. It just keeps going because alcohol numbs their pain, so they act out narcissistically, the rage, the cheating, the lying. I mean, alcohol takes away a person's inhibitions. So yeah, and when you're drinking and drunk, you can't feel pain as much as you normally would sober. So I mean, this is just a disaster waiting to happen. Narcissists are walking disasters. And the alcohol numbs their pain. And so this worsens their narcissism. They rage, they cheat, they lie, they gaslight, they'll fight, they'll argue. Like they'll pull that thread and will not let go. And after it's all is said and done, they regret drinking, but they deny, they blame shift, they gaslight to escape accountability. And they just repeat the cycle. Eventually their masks start slipping, and you have to ask yourself, if you think that you're in love with the narcissist, you have to ask yourself, this is the rest of your life here. Going through this cycle of abuse is going to be the rest of your life. Ask yourself, why are you settling for this problem? Why are you settling for this pain? What is it in you that you think you can't get, a beautiful friend, or you can't find a beautiful wife or husband? This is as good as it's going to get. No, that's a lie you're telling yourself. Doesn't matter your past. It doesn't matter what you've done. You're not here on this earth to settle, my friend. You're not here on this earth to manage somebody else's bad behavior at the risk of you losing your good behavior and your morals. So the breaking point for the narcissist is the narcissistic collapse. And the collapse of a narcissist is actually inevitable. They all go through it. No matter how much power they think they have, no matter how tightly they hold onto their secrets, the truth has a way of breaking through. And when it does, the narcissist crumbles. Narcissistic collapse is the moment when the illusion is shattered. The admiration fades, the control slips, the world actually sees them for what they truly are: fraudulent, insecure, broken. And this is where the alcohol plays the most destructive role. When the narcissist loses control, they don't self-reflect. There's no self-awareness. They don't take responsibility. Instead, they lash out, blaming everyone around them, spiraling into fits of rage, depression, paranoia, or complete withdrawal from society or friends and family. Their addiction worsens as they seek refuge in the one thing that never abandons them: alcohol. They can always trust that. But their alcohol is not their friend. It keeps them hostage. It controls them just in the way that the narcissist tries to control us. It controls the controller. It clouds their judgment, weakens their defenses, and exposes them further. As their drinking intensifies, their manipulations become sloppier. Their lies become transparent. Their charm turns to desperation. And when a narcissist is desperate, they are dangerous. Narcissists are always dangerous, but an alcoholic narcissist, a drug-addicted narcissist, they are danger 101. And the more they spiral, the more the world around them pulls away. Hi, Joe. So when they have no one in their life, they implode. Yes. Yes. That's when you'll see them retreat from society and slip off into the distance with their alcoholic love affair with their bottle, or they will unalive themselves. Hey Sam, how you doing? My narc who previously falsely accused me told me to meet her last night with my 1-month child to sort it out. Is that a Hoover? Yeah. What? Why meet late at night? No, there's something fishy going on. Don't let her take all the control. You meet her. If you want to meet her, you meet her on your terms, not hers. Late night sounds like a booty call to me, but yeah, you just be careful, Sam. Be careful. So when the collapse happens, the narcissist breaks down emotionally, becoming depressed and withdrawn, self-loathing, and full of self-pity. And you may even see this. And it's not a good thing to see. Yes, I do one-on-one conferences if you want. Go to my Ko-Fi channel, or you can email me and we can book an appointment. So when you see this self-loathing and this self-pity, they come unglued in front of you, the mask slips, and there's no way of going back from that. Like, they can't save face. When you see this collapse, you know that the relationship is done, because they're going to be running away. There's nothing left to salvage. And you're going to see when they go into this collapse, they're explosive, they're erratic, they rage, they blame shift, they're desperate for validation from you. And if they can't get it from you, they're going to go seek a new supply. And they're self-destructive, as any narcissist is. But this, with their addiction, is just reckless behavior, like worse than it ever is before. So how alcoholism plays a role in narcissistic collapse? Well, alcoholism and narcissism often go hand in hand, unfortunately, because both involve denial, a lack of accountability, and a need to escape reality. When a narcissist collapses, alcohol often, or drugs often become their go-to coping mechanism. So here's how the alcohol fuels the collapse. Number one, self-medication for the ego injury. When their grandiosity is shattered, narcissists can't tolerate the pain of feeling insignificant and powerless. So alcohol numbs these feelings, allowing them to escape the shame, the humiliation, and the rejection. My email is in the description of this video, but it is shannongilmore@protonmail.com. So, yeah. It's right in the description of the video, like first thing, you'll see it. So, Shannon Gilmore, GILMOUR @protonmail.com. Okay, so number two, the alcoholism increases their emotional volatility. Why I couldn't say that word. Alcohol weakens impulse control, making narcissists even more aggressive, paranoid, and emotionally unstable. And during a collapse, this leads to extreme narcissistic rage, violent outbursts, verbal abuse. They may throw things. They go through this self-victimization. Everyone has abandoned me. Everyone is against me. You all hate me. I have no friends. I have nobody. And then they get into their drunken sob stories to gain pity and attention. So, okay, you found it. Awesome. You emailed me. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for the loves. Number three, there's a heightened risk of reckless and destructive behavior when it comes to alcoholism in the narcissist, as if their reckless behavior wasn't reckless enough. A collapsed narcissist under the influence may sabotage relationships, but this is par for the course without alcoholism involved. But they'll drunk dial, they'll drunk text, and they will pick fights. See, alcohol brings out the narcissist in the narcissist. It brings out the meanness. And they'll engage in self-destructive habits, reckless sex, gambling, financial ruin. Like, they will just spend, and then they will isolate themselves in a downward spiral of addiction. And they may even mix alcohol with medication. Number four, reinforcing the victim mentality. Alcohol fuels the delusions and denial, making the narcissist believe that they are the true victim. Everyone betrayed me. Everyone is against me. I drink because of what they did to me. No one understands me. Instead of self-reflection, they blame others and seek new supply to soothe their fragile ego. Why do you think narcissists like nightclubs? They can get new supply whenever they want. Excuse me. So if left unchecked, narcissistic collapse and alcoholism can lead to job loss and financial ruin. Jeanette says they play the victim. So true. Yes, and they play it so well. You know, they tug at your heartstrings. Oh my gosh. Now, alcoholism will obviously cause severe health problems, liver disease, neurological damage. We're going to get into the brain functioning with the narcissist and the alcohol in just a minute. There's a loss of social support. Friends and family cut ties. I mean, that's what happened to my mother when in her alcoholism, she's lost her dad. Like she lost the relationship with her dad. She lost the relationship with her sister. You know, that's just what happens. And there is extreme paranoia and delusions. And the narcissist, while drinking, will also suffer from suicidal ideation and violent tendencies. See, some narcissists, most, do not recover. They remain bitter, isolated, and stuck in a cycle of self-destruction. Others may seek temporary help, but only to rebuild their false self. It's not for genuine healing. So how do you protect yourself from this? Well, if you notice the signs of collapse, and if a collapsed narcissist or any narcissist is using alcohol as a weapon to manipulate or lash out, set strong boundaries, don't play therapist, and don't enable their behavior. Avoid trying to save them. Their healing is their responsibility. And don't take the blame. They will try to guilt trip you. Protect your mental and emotional well-being. Distance yourself, because with alcohol or drug addiction, this takes a toll on your mental health. And you're already trauma bonded. Oh my gosh, this is just going to exacerbate the problem. So at this point, the narcissist stands at a crossroads. Do they seek help, or do they descend further into their narcissistic collapse? Well, most don't realize that they're collapsing. Hey, resistor, they have to buy friendship when they lose everyone. Oh yeah, you know what kind of friendship they buy, right? Ick. Most narcissists will never admit that they need help. Admitting weakness is not in their nature. They will blame, they will manipulate, and deceive until the very end. And if they do enter recovery, it's often out of necessity rather than genuine desire. They may use rehab as a way to regain lost control, to manipulate those around them into believing that they've changed. But deep transformation requires humility, introspection, and accountability, things the narcissist resists at all costs. I want to share this with you. And I don't share this lightly. You know, this person, kudos, they're making attempts, but I saw some narcissistic red flags. So this person was a drug addict, and their drug addiction, they were driving a vehicle while they were intoxicated and on, I think, meth, some hard drug. And they ran a red light and got into an accident, and there was two other passengers in the car. The passenger in the back seat died. So this person who was driving the car, he didn't really get injured, but he did go to jail. For 2 years, he went to jail. He did his time. And what I found troubling is he was sharing with me his story, and there was no remorse. There was no remorse about unaliving somebody by, accident. There was, and I don't know, knowing what I know and knowing what we know about narcissism, that there's brain damage, and alcoholism causes brain damage, so does drug use. I mean, this person got a full pardon, so he's able to get on with his life, but I'm not holding him to the fire. I'm not here judging him. I just think it's like, I still feel guilty. I still feel guilty after 20 years, or 30 years rather, of being a horrible mom to my 3 kids. I mean, there's just, when somebody isn't remorseful, when somebody doesn't have empathy. And it's time to stop trying to convince ourselves that people have, narcissists have empathy. They don't. They don't feel remorse. And that is a freaking huge problem. Because if somebody, everybody deserves a second chance. But it's like, I confronted my mom on some things, and she said, well, how can I apologize? Because she asked me, what do you want from me? And I said, an apology would be nice for starters. And she said, well, how can I apologize for something that I don't remember? Do you think you could trust somebody who says that to you? Where's the remorse? I mean, that's the thing. We put our trust in, give people a second chance. Okay, I'm all for that. But trust is earned. And if somebody is not going to show remorse for something that they did, well, how am I going to, feel safe when possibly they may do something to me without realizing it, but there's not going to, and if I bring it to their attention, how are they going to treat me? Are they going to be like remorseful or not? Like, and it's worse when you drink. You can't argue or reason with a drunk. And with a narcissist, you don't know whether they're inebriated or not. They can hold their liquor. Some people can hold their drugs. Some people can just make it appear like they are sober when they're not. Hi, Ted. How you doing? Yeah, it is so sad that the narcissist does not repent. Absolutely. Hold my beer. Ha ha ha. Funny, funny. Funny. So most narcissists won't ever admit that they need help. Admitting this weakness is not in their nature. They're just going to blame, they're going to manipulate, they'll deceive to the very end. So the cycle will just continue, and this is what you're going to have to ask yourself. Is this what I want for the rest of my life? Did I sign up for this? Chances are you didn't sign up for this. You signed up for a healthy relationship. And the brain of a narcissist is not healthy by nature. When they're doing drugs, when they're addicted to alcohol, their brain is exponentially worse. So what happens to the brain of someone who is addicted to alcohol? Is their real brain malfunctioning? Or does this get better when they stop alcohol? Or are these abnormalities that they express, do they get worse over time? Does it make the narcissism worse? Well, alcohol suppresses and negatively affects several key areas of the brain, leading to cognitive, emotional, and physical impairments. So here's the main regions of the brain impacted. The prefrontal lobe. This is your decision-making and impulse control area of your brain. Alcohol impairs your judgment, reduces self-control, and increases risky behaviors. Why? Well, the prefrontal cortex regulates rational thinking and impulse control. So by nature, when a narcissist is dysregulated in their emotions, the prefrontal cortex actually shuts down and they can't think properly. That's why you can't reason with a narcissist. You can't reason with them. There's no compromise. And well, this worsens when alcohol or drugs are involved. So they're already poor decision makers, and alcohol makes it worse. And it leads to aggression and impaired problem solving, because this aggression is frustration. Why won't you just let me do what I want to do? Why are you always trying to control me? The hippocampus. This is the area of memory and learning. Alcoholism causes blackouts, not in every person, but in a lot of people. And I'm wondering if it's not causing blackouts in narcissists. It certainly causes memory loss, and it causes learning difficulties. The hippocampus is responsible for forming new memories. Alcohol disrupts neural activity there, leading to short-term memory loss and difficulty in retaining new information. I never said that. Are you sure we did that? I wasn't there. No, I wasn't there for that. No. If this is a functioning alcoholic, you don't know whether they're drunk or not. You don't know if they're hepped up on goofballs like drugs. You don't know. I think gaslighting, even if the narcissist is sober, their brain is so overloaded with the emotions that they don't know how to regulate. It causes a zap in their brain, like, you know, it blitzes their brain to where they have short-term memory loss. Now, sometimes, yeah, the narcissist will fake it and they'll lie and gaslight, but I'm wondering and how do you prove this? I'm thinking that sometimes the narcissist really does black out. Prolonged alcohol abuse can cause permanent memory issues. This leads to what is called Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. Oh my gosh, I didn't research that yet. So let's just go there for a second. I'm going to spell this wrong, I'm sure. Okay. So Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. Okay. So what this is an unusual type of memory disorder due to a lack of thiamine or vitamin B1, requiring immediate treatment. It most often happens in people with alcohol use disorder and malnutrition. While there isn't a cure, healthcare providers can recommend treatments to manage your symptoms. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, or WKS, is a brain and memory disorder that requires immediate treatment. It happens due to a severe lack of thiamine or vitamin B1, which causes damage to your brain. Thiamine is an essential vitamin that your body uses to convert food into energy. So there's two stages: a sudden and severe or acute brain disorder, and then a long-term chronic memory disorder. This condition is named for German neurologist Karl Wernicke and Russian neuropsychiatrist Sergei Korsakov. Well, this takes, I'm going to look into this, because I mean, if this is a a memory disorder, does this mimic dementia or Alzheimer's? As my mother, she was an alcoholic for most of her life, and now she has Alzheimer's. So I'm sure they would diagnose and look for that diagnosis, but it's just something to consider. Like, there might be, a fine line between Alzheimer's and this other Korsakoff disorder. Wow. You learn something new every day, right? So, number 3, the cerebellum, where your balance and coordination, alcohol affects this area, which alcohol reduces motor control, causing slurred speech and loss of coordination. Person falls down, bumps into walls. The cerebellum controls movement and balance. Alcohol slows its function, leading to clumsiness, dizziness, and delayed reaction times. The amygdala. Emotions and anxiety are regulated in the amygdala. Okay, so I'm just reading their growth is stunted, no disrespect intended. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Cynthia. Yeah, I know. My ex liked getting me tipsy too. Yeah, for his own sexual perverted reasons, but I just allowed myself to get tipsy, feeling the buzz, but never got drunk and inebriated where I lost control of my faculties. No, I remained control in my life. Like, I was never going to let anybody control me like that. But he's just like, you loosen up when you're drunk. And I'm like, I'm not drunk. Well, you're so much more fun. Sorry, probably too much information, but that's how narcissists act. They're just perverted. They're sick. Anyways, so the amygdala processes our emotions, and alcohol initially suppresses anxiety, but long-term abuse makes anxiety and mood swings worse, especially when someone is sober. This makes sense because my ex, he used to do marijuana, and after he would come off of it, the day after doing his little whatever, he would always be mean to me. Like, he would be rude. And so I just I start, oh yeah, you did some marijuana yesterday, huh? And he goes, how'd you know? And I'd always say, because you're treating me like a piece of garbage today. And he'd never say anything. He wouldn't, I am not, I'm sorry, nothing. He'd just go quiet. So yeah, call him out on it. At least you know. At least you'll know. The hypothalamus controls your hormones and body functions, and alcohol and drugs disrupt your sleep, your body temperature, and sexual function. The hypothalamus regulates your body functions, and alcohol impairs your hormonal regulation, leading to poor sleep, dehydration, and lowered libido. Your brainstem, this is your basic life functions, your breathing, your heart rate. And alcohol can affect this, causing unconsciousness and coma, even death from alcohol poisoning. The brainstem controls vital functions like breathing, heartbeat, consciousness. Alcohol overdose suppresses the brainstem, leading to slow or stopped breathing, which is how alcohol poisoning can be fatal. The long-term damage, alcohol use and drug use actually shrinks the brain tissue, especially the prefrontal cortex. There's nerve cell death, leading to permanent cognitive impairments. This increases the risk of dementia and neurological disorders. So the secret alcoholic narcissist is living on borrowed time. They believe they are untouchable. But the reality is they are the architects of their own demise. Alcohol may offer them temporary relief, but it's only accelerating their downfall. Hi Aquarius, nice to see you. For those caught in the orbit of a narcissist, it is crucial to recognize these signs and protect yourself. Their collapse is not yours to fix. Their destruction is not yours to prevent. If you've ever witnessed a narcissist unravel, you know that their downfall is inevitable. Your priority is to walk away and to heal yourself and to ensure that you will never be anybody's collateral damage in this war against themselves. Beyond the psychological and emotional destruction, there is also a spiritual danger at play here when it comes to alcohol and drugs. Alcoholism naturally leaves a person open to demonic attacks. It weakens the spirit, lowers their defenses, and creates a gateway for oppression and suppression. When alcoholism is combined with narcissistic personality disorder, it becomes a double-edged sword that leaves not only the narcissist vulnerable, but also those who engage with them. The narcissist dismantles our faith slowly, methodically, and deliberately. They shift our focus off of God and away from the truth. They shift us from seeking ourselves from within as we abandon self-awareness, and we get pulled into their chaos. When our energy is directed at their madness, we are not centered in our divinity. We're not paying attention to ourselves, our faith, or our spiritual strength. And that is when we become most vulnerable, when we're not anchored in who we truly are. So understanding this is key to protecting yourself. When we focus on our own faith, our self-awareness, and our spiritual resilience, and that's what we're doing on this channel, we shield ourselves from both the narcissist manipulations and the dark forces that seek to take hold through addiction and destruction. So it's important that you make your system of faith a daily habit, top priority, a deliberate lifestyle. Integrate God's word and his teachings into your life, and you will discover that God has never left you. He's always been with you. And now that you are on your own road to peace, well, you are now better equipped to never allow the dulling effects of narcissism to ever darken your door again. So, this secret of the narcissist is one that they hide their drug addiction and their alcoholism. And confronting them on it is not going to give you the answers that you seek. If you suspect that they're an alcoholic, if you suspect that they're doing drugs, trust your gut. Trust your gut. I know this to be true. God has shown me many times. You know, God had me go look for my ex's marijuana stash because I wouldn't allow drugs in the house. So he had his stash in one of the outback sheds, you know, on the farm. And God said, go look in the shed. And I'm like, what? What am I looking for? God's like, go look. You'll find it. And it was at the very bottom of his toolbox. So this was, of course, before marijuana became illegal. That's right, Jeanette. Your intuition never lies to you. That's right. Never lies. There's evil spirits in the alcohol. Yeah, it dulls your senses. Like, I mean, you're susceptible, like spiritually, you're susceptible to demonic attacks because you're numb. You've lost all control, like your self-awareness is not there anymore. It's numb. It's You know, it's like you've just, what's the word I'm looking for? Not euthanasia, anesthetize, you know, when you, yeah, you know what word I'm talking about. I can't say it. But yeah, it's just, there's so much going on with the narcissist. It's like they are just a walking, talking bag of hurt. Unfixable, unchangeable hurt. 1101 timestamp. Wow, cool. They're beyond repair. And you cannot love them enough. You cannot help them. Your help is only enabling them. It is normal for them. That's the thing. They live opposite to us. We're opposite to them. There's two kinds of people in this world. Godly people, that's us, and ungodly people, people who live opposite to God's ways. And God's ways is morality. Living in morality and self-respect and respecting other people, that's the godly way of walking in unconditional love. But the people who don't see God for who he is, and they don't have this moral compass, and they don't love their brother and their sister, you know, they don't love their fellow man, well, that's the narcissist, and they're geared, they're meant to live in opposite to us. And this takes, you know, when we're always focused on the psychology and we don't see this for what it is spiritually, this can cause us some great heartache. Excuse me, but the truth will set you free. They want control, but they have none themselves. Exactly. All we can do, see, that's the secret. You want to control people around you, you control yourself. And a narcissist, they try to control themselves by controlling us. And when they can't control us, they can't control themselves. Because they can't self-reflect. They have no empathy to lend themselves to this innate empathy. It's gone. It's not there. They can mimic empathy, but when it comes to having true blue empathy, well, if they really had empathy, they would be self-reflecting, they would be changing. They would be making the effort to change, and they're not. They're just like, no, it's not my problem. It's not my problem you see me that way. That's your problem. Deal with it. They're really glib like that, really. They're just, I don't know. I don't know how, I just don't. You know, I know that they're a necessary evil. I know that. But I'm just so thankful that I'm not in their shoes. I'm just so thankful. And, you know, God has allowed us to go through all this trauma in order to get us to see, you know what, dear? This could be you if you don't change your ways. This could have been you if I didn't deposit my Holy Spirit in you. This could have been you, but I chose you. Wow. God chose us. He loved us before we loved him. That's why we love him, because he loved us first. So, wow, that's pretty amazing. Why does your therapist downplay his narcissism? Because either your therapist doesn't have, you know, the therapist is to take a biased approach, not to judge, right? But it could be that they lack the experience of dealing with the narcissist. And still, even though there's so much information about narcissism, there isn't enough information on how to heal from narcissism. There's so much focus on the narcissist, and they did this, they did that, they did this, they did that. And still, as victims, we're getting sidelined. So there's you know, there's lots of therapists who are narcissists themselves. So they're not equipped to help you because they're not empathetic, or they're not well versed in dealing with somebody who has trauma from narcissism. So, you know, so just ask questions. You're allowed to ask your therapist questions. You know, what's your experience in dealing with narcissism? How many clients have you had that have been victims of narcissism or a narcissist themselves? And have you treated a narcissist? And if so, how many have you treated? And what was the treatment? You know, was it what cognitive therapies and psychotherapies did you engage in? Like, what did you have them do? So, yeah, she's ignoring. Well, you can tell her not to. You know, you can tell her you're paying your therapist. So you're paying your therapist to listen and to help you. So you take control and say, I want to focus on the narcissism today. This is what I really want to focus in on. And hold her accountable. Hold your therapist accountable. You're allowed to speak your mind and allowed to talk what you want to talk about. It's not about, you know, them sitting back and let's talk about your childhood. You know, let's talk about, you mentioned this, let's talk about that. No. We're going to talk about the narcissism because that's the main issue I want to deal with right now. I need to understand his ways so I can help heal because I'm the injured party here. I've been married to this person and they have done this to me and I need to figure out why. So either you're going to help me or you're not. What am I paying you for? No, don't say that. But, you know, sometimes you feel like it, right? Yes, Joe, we've said that many times on this video channel, that we were God's thoughts before we were born. We are his thought manifested. We did many videos on that. I'm not sure if you were there for those ones. Maybe you were, I'm not sure. I'm just reading your comments. Jeanette says, so sad that we went through that horrific relationships till we repented and connected to our own respect. Yeah. 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 Hide the weed and porn. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh. Yeah, so just be careful. Because you just don't know what a narcissist is up to. Like we talked on the last live, the secrets of the narcissist, and now we've got another secret revealed. The alcohol just makes it so much worse. Like if it wasn't bad already, like you cannot trust a narcissist. Like I don't know how to convey that. Like you cannot trust. If they tell you something, don't believe it. That's all you need to do. Is if the narcissist is talking, they're lying. Don't believe a word that they say. And you know what? If you're questioning what they did, you know, if they were late coming to dinner and they give you this story, oh, I had, you know, my tire, you know, I got a flat on the way home and I had to do this and I had to do that. You know what? Challenge them. Get them to recite their story that they told you. Get them to tell it backwards. Somebody who's telling the truth will be able to tell you the story from the end to the beginning. But a narcissist, they'll get confused and they'll go, what the hell are you doing? You know, they'll just, I don't need to talk. What the hell, what kind of question is that? What? No. They'll get frustrated. So that lets you know that they're lying. A liar cannot tell the truth or their story from the end to the beginning. So that's how you know that they're lying to you. So, you know, Cynthia, it's natural to be jealous because every relationship that you have, everybody, like man or woman, you have a healthy dose of jealousy when you're in a relationship. It's called being protective of your relationship. And because you did not get to determine when this relationship ended, okay? You were in this relationship going la-di-da, thinking everything was fine, hoping that everything was fine. You were in this for the long haul till death do you part, better for worse. You know, you were holding up to your end of the bargain. You were doing your thing in this relationship. You know, you're in it for the long haul. And when that person came along and said, nope, we're not doing this anymore, you're like, ah! So jealousy is a part of this letting go. Jealousy is a part of, you know, grieving the process, and it's part of the denial stages of grief where you deny, and this is it. If you're jealous, well, you can ask yourself why you're jealous, but it's a part of the denial phase of the grieving process. And you have to walk through it. You know, of course you're going to be jealous because you're not the one that, you need closure. You're not the one that decided to end this relationship. And, you know, a narcissist doesn't wean you off the relationship. They cut you off of that cold turkey. So just be kind to yourself. It's okay. Just recognize when you are feeling jealous, just recognize it for what it is. And then what you can do is think of not the good things of the relationship, but think of how the things in the relationship that he did that sidelined the relationship, that, you know, took away your dignity, that took away your self-respect. You know, think about how he did not respect you. So that will help you deal with the jealousy, because your jealousy is rooted in love and protecting the relationship. But now that you don't have the relationship anymore, so your mind is still like, tell your therapist, you know, like talk to them about this chemical bath that your brain is bathing you in, you know, because you're going through all these hormones. You're coming through a narcissistic detox of the brainwashing of the trauma bond. You're going through a detox, and it's going to take months. It's going to take probably at least, I'd say, another 2 months before you really start feeling good about yourself. And it's going to take you 6 months to a year to really feel a sense of independence again. So, you know, it's like you can't put a timeline on your healing, but there's a cycle that you're going to go through. And it's worse because you have a daughter together, and your daughter's in the middle, and your daughter's friends with her dad, and, you know, and it's not going to be easy to maneuver right now, but you're doing the best that you can, so you're doing okay. So okay, so Joe says, I think the reason I have felt jealous is because I felt insecure in the relationship. Quit keeping track of that jerk, Cynthia, says Resistor. Agree. So, yeah. Yeah, you're going to make it. You're going to be okay. It's just really hard because, I mean, when you have a child with somebody and then they go and have a child with somebody else, that's difficult. That's difficult, but right now, your focus needs to be on you. Make you the priority. You know, when you're better healed, you can better deal with that situation. But right now, it's time to think about yourself. It really is. It's time to just give yourself the love that he never gave you. Yeah, you're right. It's called discard for a reason. Yeah. And you're going to be okay. Just take it one day at a time. There's going to be off days. There's going to be sad days. And you know what? Tomorrow's a new day. And you may even feel a little bit better. But you're going to cycle through this. It's got to take its turn. It's a healing process. And we've all been there. You know, we've all been there. And it doesn't get easy, or each time you go through it, it doesn't get easier. But when you start feeling free, you start doing stuff for yourself. Like I mentioned to Ted, take yourself, like I told Ted, take yourself on a date. Go to a new restaurant and take yourself out for lunch. By yourself, just take in the ambiance. And that's how it starts. Just start doing little things for you. You know? So, well, guys, with that said, it's 20 after 11. So we've been here for just over an hour. So I want to say thank you, everyone. If you guys want to talk, you can use my email. You can make an appointment with me and we can talk face to face, just like this, privately, and we can dish it out and figure this out together. My Ko-Fi channel, my website, where downloadables and where you can sign up for courses if you want. It's all there in the description of the video. And I just want to say thank you for your support. You know, liking this video, showing up here for yourselves, for all of us every day. We're here twice a day, once in the afternoon, once in the evening, 1 o'clock and 10 o'clock Eastern time. So, Shannon and chat. So, yeah, many thanks to all of you guys for showing up here and supporting each other in this chat. This is so nice. Thank you, everyone. So with that said, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to seeing you guys here tomorrow. So Joe says, I've been doing that for the last 10 months, and I've learned a lot about myself by being myself, by myself on prayer. Amen to that. So Cynthia says, it's made me feel like we don't matter. We were nothing. But you do matter. And you don't need the narcissist validation for that. That's the whole point in this lesson, is that God validates you. You matter and you're worthy. So go look at yourself in the mirror tonight, Cynthia, before you go to bed. Even if it feels uncomfortable, look at yourself right in the eye and say, you matter, girl. And say, I love you. And say that to yourself every morning when you wake up, and every morning or every evening when you go to bed. Do that for a week and you'll start seeing changes. So I love you all. Good night, sweet dreams. And you do matter. You guys matter to me. You matter to Jesus. I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night, sweet dreams. And God bless. Right on. FYI. What? Okay. You got to show up tomorrow. We need to talk. All right. Nice to see you, FYI. Show up tomorrow and we'll chat. Okay. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.